everyone, welcome to the K-pop Callout, a podcast where we have the conversations that K-pop fans don't have. I'm Honest,
And I'm True.
and today's discussion topic is, do K-pop fans actually love their idols?
So let's just clarify what we mean by that. Do K-pop fans actually love their idols? Like, what do we mean by the actually?
Yeah, by the actually part. Yeah, so, I think that in the K-pop community, like, it's really common, obviously, for K-pop fans to say that they love their idols. That's stuff that K-pop fans post all the time on social media, and like that's kind of
Mm,
I don't know what like the I guess quote unquote definition of being a K-pop fan is like loving your idol, like that you love them, so you're their fan and you support them and stuff like that. And I guess the reason we're posing this question is because K-pop fans often take it for granted or assume that they actually do love their idols. And we chose this topic because um, we want to kind of, I guess, question that or push back on that a little bit, since fans often just kind of think that that's actually the case. And I know that, well, I don't know,
yeah,
but I think that you and I have different definitions or ideas about love too, like the word love.
yeah. So Honest is going for more like overall love, and I am talking about romantic love specifically because I just kind of feel that the topic of parasocialism in K-pop and like romantic love specifically is it's an interesting topic. And because I have been kind of parasocial in the past, I mean all of us have, right? It just kind of hits home for me a little bit. Um, so that's why I'm specifically talking about romantic love because I have a lot to say about that and I really wanted to explore that.
Hmm.
So again, we have our points and we're just kind of go a little differently this time. Like
Hmm.
we're gonna argue for both of the sides, like they do and they don't, and we both wrote theories or points for both of them.
Yeah. So we challenged ourselves to kind of think of 2 points for yes and 2 points for no each, to kind of like explore this topic of like, well, do they or don't they? Like, in what ways do they? In what ways don't they? And so we're going to start with the yes points and then we're going to move on to the no points. And then at the end, we will share what our overall opinions are. So that is how we are going to format today's discussion. And so, yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation, I think, and interesting to see kind of the different ways that we analyze and explore this topic. Okay,
Yeah.
so my first point for yes, as in yes, I think K-pop fans do actually love their idols, is this. So, when I was coming up with my points for this discussion, I was kind of doing like some research on kind of definitions of love and trying to figure out kind of what I see like a good overall or general definition of love is. And based on the definition I came up with for love, I would say that in some cases, yes, K pop fans do actually love their idols, but it's kind of like a yes, but sort of point.
Mm.
So, yeah. So I would say, um, again, when we talk about love, and I think that your definition of love and my definition of love are probably different, and my definition of love may not be other people like the same as other people's definition of love. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it depends on what definition of love we're talking about. But if, like, I would say, like, if we're talking about romantic love, in my opinion, no, I don't think it's possible to say that K-pop fans actually love their idols. But if we're talking about genuinely caring about and wanting the best for their idols, then I would say, yeah, like maybe sometimes it depends. So
Mm.
Yeah. So there are many different definitions and understandings of love, but I would say that my definition of love is someone who you have deep affection for and genuinely want the best for, someone who you want to see grow and improve and be the best that they can be. This means trying to truly understand and empathize with them and saying and doing things that will genuinely help them grow as individuals and be genuinely happy and healthy. So this is the definition of love that I'm going based off of when I'm talking about love in this discussion. And so
Yeah.
based on this definition of love, I would say I think that some fans really do love and care about their idols and do genuinely support them and want the best for them and want them to
Mm.
grow and be the best that they can be as both artists and people. But that is not the case for all or even most K-pop fans, I would say.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Like I think there are a lot of K-pop fans who say that they love their idol and they do genuinely want the best for them and care for them. But
Mhm.
like you said, not all of them are like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so we
so
can move on to the next point then, because we have a lot of points to present, so it's fine if some of these are kind of short. I think that it's gonna get kind of a little bit more engaging in like for like the no points later, because that's when we've shared everything sort of, and we can kind
yeah,
of present more of like what we really think.
yeah. So my first yes point is um, because fans exist who are not aware of like K-pop idols possibly having like made up personalities or like at least maybe not completely made up. This might be a conversation for another day
Hmm.
about how much K-pop idols like fake their personalities, but I think it's not a secret that they at least hide parts of themselves. They hide like crucial parts of themselves. Um,
Hmm.
but there are K-pop fans who are not aware of that, who don't know that they're like supposed to act in a certain way and they might be completely different off camera. And like I
Hmm.
think a lot of those fans would be like shocked to see like how their K-pop idol talks on their free time. Um so those fans, um the root of their problem is that they kind of like think that they know the idol, and then they start to like trust them a little too much. And the K-pop idol is feeding into it. Like
Hmm.
you trust that they're always gonna be there for you, and a K-pop idol might say that. So even if the idol actually meant to say that in like I'll be there for you as an idol to a fan kind of way, um, they're supposed to say things that can be taken as, romantic too. So, yeah, they're kind of like catfishing, honestly. Being a K-pop fan is kind of the same thing as you being catfished, right?
I just feel like the spice level got so high so fast. Like I think a lot of people are not gonna like react well to that, but that's totally fine because this podcast is about sharing. No, it's about sharing different perspectives. That's literally what we say. It's about sharing different perspectives, and we're not saying it's like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like these are the things that K-pop fans. These are the conversations that K-pop fans don't have. That's literally our slogan
Yeah,
or
it,
like our
it
intro. Like
went,
it's like
it
these are the
kind of
conversations that
escalated.
K-pop fans don't have. It like escalated so fast though. Like you're being catfished by your idols. Sorry.
Yeah. But honestly, it's the same thing. It's the same thing because like when you're being catfished, it means that you're talking to someone that you think
Hmm.
um, is someone else that they are not, and they're like acting that they're someone else that they are. Um,
Hmm.
so These type of fans actually do fall in love with their idols.
Hmm. They fall in love with who they think their idols are, is what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not to put all the blame on them because, like, everything about the way that, like, K pop idol culture is, like, the way it's done, is, like, meant to make fans feel that way or to get that impression.
Yeah.
That's not a mistake. It's like they're doing everything they can to kind of cultivate and fuel like these parasocial relationships and these parasocial fantasies. Like, oh yeah, let's make an idol app where it feels like the fans are getting personal text messages from their idol. It's like it's all
Yeah.
done like it's they're victims too. Like it's not just like
Mm,
you know what I mean? Like I
exactly.
think that should be acknowledged as like they're victims of these K-pop companies trying to make money and like get their support and stuff like that by facilitating
Yeah.
and fueling these parasocial relationships and feelings for fans.
Yeah, like when you kind of think about it, you at first you might just think that those fans are so delusional, so dumb, and like
Hmm.
why how would you come to that conclusion that the idol loves you, or like
Hmm.
that it's real love between you guys or something? But actually, it's you can't really blame the fan. They're like you said,
Hmm.
they are victims. And yeah, it's no secret that K-pop idols, they literally write contracts or like sign contracts to do this. I'm like,
Hmm.
well, I'm not painting them as like being evil or anything, but that's just how the
It's
industry
part of the job.
works.
Yeah, that's part of the job. And one, it's also part of the expectations of the company and also the expectations of the fans too, because like that's K-pop idol culture. It's always been about the parasocial relationship. So that is actually what a lot of
Yeah.
fans actually go to K-pop for too and expect from their idols. If their idols don't do stuff like that, their fans will be outraged or think that their idols don't love them or will I no actually like in one of the like for one of the K-pop artists that I stan, like one of the groups, like there
Mm.
are fans who are like in the DMs of like a certain member who they say is like quote unquote like not affectionate enough or doesn't try hard enough for the fans. Like they're saying you don't tell us you love us enough. You don't do aegyo enough. You don't listen to us. You don't do all these boyfriendy things for us. Like you're not playing the
Yeah.
part of being the parasocial boyfriend that you're supposed to be. Like there are
Yeah,
fans who actually expect and demand that stuff too. So there's that's also part of the reason why idols do it is because it's kind of like reputation management, or it's kind of like well, they don't want to like get crap from people like from their company or fans, but also they don't want to be known as like the idol who doesn't actually love their fans.
yeah. For one of my groups too, there was a member who was dating um
Hmm.
publicly for a long time, and like they were
Hmm.
saying the same stuff about him too, like he
Oh,
wasn't
really?
really
I
giving
guess I'm not surprised.
them the parasocial experience that they wanted.
Hmm.
So like
Hmm.
he got a lot of hate, and that's like you guys should be happy that they're not actually trying to catfish you guys.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just
they're
don't
being
want to be a
honest.
fraud.
Yeah, exactly. No, like they're being humane. No, like honestly, like for I have so much respect for idols who don't like play too much in the parasocial stuff. I mean, like yes, it like
Yeah.
idols should be encouraging, but like the ones who actually don't like try to like encourage the parasocial fantasies and the parasocial obsession and stuff like that in fans, like I actually have a lot of respect for them because like they are kind of like they're prioritizing sort of like saneness and normalcy and decency and
Yeah.
humaneness like it's an act of humanity towards their fans and being like I could make even more money off of you, I could exploit you, I could do all like play this game and stuff like that, but I'm not going to because
Yeah.
I care about myself and I care about you and I want us to have like a kind of normal like fan celebrity relationship or like whatever, like just be more like friends rather than you know selling you something that isn't real, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. So when you were giving your like presentation earlier, and you were saying something about how idols, like fake their personalities, or we like really don't know their personalities and stuff like that. And
Yeah. Or
yeah, and so
mainly hiding parts of their
yeah, I
personalities,
mean,
I
yeah, and
think.
I think like yeah, like I think all of them obviously. I mean, it's like, and you were saying that some fans genuinely don't know that, and like I was
Mm.
gonna say like, I think maybe there are some fans who don't know that, but I think that most fans, like all fans, know that like I think that most fans, I shouldn't say all, but like I think most fans know that idols don't show their full personalities, but I think it's like rather than ignorance, I think there are a lot of fans that just like either are willfully ignorant or like they just really want to believe that the idols are who they think they are, or they even try to like impose upon the idols this kind of image that they have on
Yeah.
them too at the same
Yeah.
time. So it's like, yeah, I mean, like that's kind of like a loaded topic, and we're not going to get into that in this episode. But yeah, like there are cases where it's, I guess I want to like expand upon that, but also clarify that it's like, yeah, there are some idols who are like genuinely horrible people and like fake their entire personalities, like literally just fake
Yeah.
everything, and nothing that fans know about them is true. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, all idols are of course forced to kind of censor and filter their personalities because they're idols, because they can't openly date or openly open about their political opinions or whatever, with regards to things, like
Yeah.
they are forced to censor, like even like we're not even saying that they're bad people necessarily for censoring and filtering their you know their personalities or what they show to fans. It's like that is part of their job as idols, um and all of them do it. And but it's like, because they do that, because like the companies say, okay, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you have to 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 do this, because that
Mm.
is like part of their job description, then naturally there is this kind of persona that may be like kind of an amalgamation of like real parts of the idol, but then there's also a lot of just kind of like um fantasy, and then also a lot of parts that are just completely omitted or filtered out, from what fans like, from what they show and what fans know about them. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I get your point about like how some fans, it's like, they either they're genuinely naive and they believe that what the idol shows is actually who they are, like 100%, or they are just kind of willfully ignorant, or like really want to believe
Yeah,
that the
like
idol is
denying
who
it.
what they show. Yeah, like in denial, or they like think, oh, other idols are, kind of, they censor their personalities or something, but my idol is like genuine. My idol is real. And like there
Yeah.
are there are various degrees. I mean, I think there are some idols who are more genuine and are more, sincere and real than others. But at the same time, it's like we never know 100% about any of these idols. And
Yeah.
so yeah, and so it's like, I get what you're saying, is like some fans fall in love with the image or with who they think the idols are, even though that is not actually who the idols are in their entirety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what
So I
I
think we talked.
said. That was my point.
Yeah. So we can move on to the next yes point, or my next yes point, I should say.
Yeah.
So the next point that I have for yes, so the question is, do fans actually love their idols? Is I feel like some people aren't gonna like me saying this. I don't know if this is spicy or not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Um, but this is just my opinion or my observation. But Um, it's sad, but in a way, I think that there are a lot of K-pop fans who love and care about their idols more than they love and care about themselves. So even though I
Oh.
don't, like said, so, like whispered sorry. Yeah. I mean, it's my opinion, my observation. People can disagree or have feelings about that, but that my observation. Um, And so, even though I don't believe that most K-pop fans actually love their idols, spoiler alert, I don't believe that most K-pop fans
Oh.
actually love their idols. If you look at fans' actions and words and compare how they are with their idols versus how they are with regards to themselves or other people in their lives, one could argue that they do love their idols to an extent. And
Yeah.
the reason I think this is because I read somewhere that actual love implies action and extending oneself for the sake of either their own or another's spiritual growth. Spiritual not being
Mm.
spiritual not being religious necessarily, but just like your spirit, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just yeah, your actual spirit. Like so, love implies action and extending oneself for the sake of either their own or another's spiritual growth. And there are K-pop fans who won't take action or extend themselves for their own sake, but they will do so for their idols. And this is something I've observed a lot, where it's like,
Yeah.
doing things for yourself is like they don't it sounds I know this, people are not going to like this and it sounds sad, or it is sad, but it's like it's true that they're like, I don't have the motivation to like put myself out there or do things for myself, but then I do for my idol. Like there are a lot of fans who like say things like that or like kind of demonstrate that. Like for example, like going to concerts and events by themselves, like going to, public events or things can be really intimidating and scary for a lot of people. Like, going places alone in public. There are a lot of people I think who are uncomfortable with that. But like
Yeah.
K-pop fans may not go, to activities or events or groups, to socialize for themselves, like for their own sake. But like
Mm.
if they're going somewhere to support their idols, to show up for their idols, then they'll do it. Even though like you know what I mean? Like it's like they may not do it for themselves, but they'll do it to support their idols. And same with things like fan chants and other like fan support activities. Like even if it requires them to like put themselves out there, or it requires work or effort or money or whatever, like fans will extend themselves. They will like kind of go that extra mile or kind of push themselves to do things for the sake of like showing support for their idol, or like, cheering for their idol, or making their idol, feel supported and like people and happy when
Mm.
they're performing. So in that sense, um like I would say that one could argue that that fans do love their idols, because they may not be motivated to put themselves out there or do a lot of work or do things they've never done before, or that they're not comfortable with for their own sakes, but they will do those things in order to see their idols and show their love and support for their idols. So that could be argued as a demonstration of love for their idols, because it's actually like these feelings of wanting to support them move them to action in order to do so. And they, see that as a way of like, being there for their idols and stuff like that, and being encouraging and like, helping them to further their dreams, and grow as an artist and like have an audience and stuff like that. So that was
Yeah.
my second point for yes, like in yes to K-pop fans actually loving their idols.
Yeah. I kind of. Mm, I agree with you, but also fans who find it hard to put themselves out there, I think they really might not even go out. Like that's the only thing that I kind of disagree with you with. Um, like they still might be like a remote fan, like supporting their idol from home, like streaming their content and music and stuff. But yeah, I do agree that um, they don't have motivation to like actually do things for themselves
Mm-hmm.
and like take care of themselves. Like they might do those things in expense of like eating and sleeping and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's very sad, but that might be proof that they do love their idols. It's not healthy love at all, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying that there are fans who like they may not go out and do things like let's say, someone maybe like doesn't have many friends or any friends, and like people might be like, "Well, why don't you, go join some group, like find people you have something in common with or something like that." And it's like they might not like have the motivation to do that for themselves, or might find it really scary or intimidating, but then like they will go out and do things because of their idol, like to show their support for their idol, or if it's something related to their idol or something like that is enough to motivate them. And so I feel like, and then
Mm,
just all the stuff, I mean, that's just one example, but like, just like the examples of like all the things that fans do to like support, their idols. Like, think about like the voting, the streaming,
yeah.
the fan chants, doing all kinds of the slogans, the doing all kinds of things to cheer up their idols too. Like, if anything happens, like different just stuff like that. It's like they may not be motivated to like put in that like time and effort and money when it comes to to themselves or even maybe other people in their lives, but they do it for their idols. And so one could argue because those feelings translate into like action, which is meant to like, in theory, be, to support and encourage the idols, one could say that that is a demonstration of love. That is my argument.
Yeah. But don't you think that they that those kind of fans are also doing that to themselves? Like doing that to like cheer themselves up. Like I think they are doing
I think people get joy. I
yeah.
think people get joy from making other people happy. Like, they're doing it because they feel like they get out of something out of supporting and encouraging their idols and showing, you know, how much they love their idols and stuff like that. So it's like, I think that they find like they feel like they're getting something out of it, but like they are doing something for the other person too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the main thing, but they are
That's the main
also,
thing.
you know, it's doing something for the idol
Yeah, I mean,
basically.
like, I'm the yes points are kind of like, I mean, I already said like where my opinion kind of already lies. So this is me kind of trying my best to come up with like yes points. And I want to be genuine about it. I don't want to like say something I don't believe in. Like, I say, okay, one could argue this. I'm not saying I fully believe this. I'm saying one could argue this, you know.
Yeah.
And it is a point, but yeah, it's not the what I believe the most.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair
Yeah.
point.
All right, so we can move on to your next yes point then.
Okay. So, my previous point was about the fans who were not aware or who are not aware of the idols, um, perhaps faking their personalities. But this is about the other side,
Hmm.
the fans who are aware but can't help but loving them still. Like, and I think a lot of many K-pop fans fall into this category. Like they might have actual like romantic feelings towards their idol, but they have like in the back of their mind, like, no, I know that they're actually not like this probably, and they're like um acting different when the camera is off, and they might be hiding stuff, but also I can't really help it because we are human and like our
Hmm.
bodies don't listen to common sense. And I've seen this happen with like even people who are dating and they have an actual like partner already might be struggling with like uh loving an idol too much at the same time. Like they're actually trying to live a normal life, but it's like making them so confused. And I have a couple examples. Like, first of all, I remember seeing on Twitter a story about like one guy on Reddit who said that his girlfriend was like crying every night because they loved an idol so much.
Oh my god.
Like and like he was like
A guy actually
no,
wrote
I'm
that
like
on
yeah,
Reddit.
yeah,
My
someone wrote that
girlfriend
on
cries for
Reddit.
this other guy. That's so sad for him.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And he was like asking for advice, like, should I do something? Like, I don't really know what to do. Like, she seems to love this idol so much, and it was so sad.
Yeah, that I mean, seems like he was actually a genuinely loving boyfriend though. That he was like concerned and wanted to know how what he could do to make it better. But like, sad for him
Yeah,
that like his girlfriend was crying over someone who doesn't even know who she is
yeah,
every
like,
day.
yeah. I don't even. I don't remember the whole story, so I don't know if the girlfriend had told her boyfriend that she's crying because she can't be with the idol, because that would hurt so much.
that would be so bad. Oh my god.
But it kind of goes without saying, if she's crying, she's struggling with something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also know someone who was in a relationship and they had to have a talk with their partner because them loving an idol, their bias, made them feel weird about their partner. And
Oh.
yeah, they didn't tell or like say the specifics.
So the fan, to
But
clarify, the fan who was standing the idol, because they were standing the idol, that made the fan feel weird about their partner.
yeah,
Okay.
so the fan who felt weird about their partner was very honest with their partner, so they had a talk with them about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it helped. I don't really remember, but I think they did give an update that
Maybe they
it
stayed
like
together. Maybe they broke up. We don't know. I think it went well though. I don't know. I don't remember.
yeah. So I think maybe it made them like compare their partner to
Yeah.
the idol too much,
That's
and
so
like
bad.
I
I feel like
know.
I feel like this is like a list of like, are you a toxic partner? Like, this is like what the these are like the criteria. Are you a toxic partner to your partner kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Yeah, so that's I have two examples that are living proof that this happens even if you are aware. So, yeah, love makes us confused, and that's why I think or like that was one of my yes points.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't think I really have anything to add for this one. I was kind
Mm,
of just giving you my reactions throughout. I guess like um yeah, we have different definitions of love and stuff like that. So it's like, by your definition of love, like for you, you would consider these to be examples of fans being in love with their idol, like actually loving their idols. But by my definition or my understanding of love, I wouldn't consider this to be love. But like, that's fine that we kind of have different understandings or different definitions of love, or different kind of
yeah,
perceptions of what we would consider to be examples of love or not love.
yeah, but also I will get more into that. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Spoiler
then like
alert.
all everything is in like the no points. I think this was like us. This was us challenging ourselves to kind of see like. Well, I mean, we should consider the other side and consider different perspectives, because it's not like, it's not entirely black and white. I mean, like, our opinions might be black and white, but like the issue isn't black and white, and people um have a range of experiences, and there are many perspectives that one can analyze this from or could argue from. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we are gonna move on to the no points then. This is gonna be, I think,
Yes,
where
the
we're
no points.
actually gonna be the no points. This is gonna be where we're sharing our real opinions now. um all right, so my first point for no, to which is to the question, do K-pop fans actually love their idols? My first point is that I think that most K-pop fans think they love their idols because they confuse other emotions and things for quote unquote love. Um, like, ultimately, the reason a lot of fans think that they love their idols is because of superficial things like, the fans like their idols a lot, they think about them all the time, they obsess over them and believe that obsession or fixation is love when it's not. Some fans are actually delusional and believe that that's love rather than what it really is, which is mental
Yeah.
illness. Um,
Yeah.
sorry, not
Oh my god,
sorry.
whoa.
Woo! Woo! Spice level just went way up. Yep, this
Yeah.
is this is a spicy podcast, spicy episode.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And also, like, just like things like seeing and hearing their idols makes them feel happy. And like, the reason I list this as an example is because, like, I think, what a lot of fans don't get is that love is about the other person, not about you. It's about the actions you take for the genuine betterment of the other person,
Yeah.
not about how they make you feel. And I think that is the biggest thing with like K-pop fans that they don't get is they think this person makes me happy. This person makes me smile. I just love seeing and hearing them. That means I love them. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like that's what they think that's their thinking. Oh, they make me they're always thinking about how the idols make them feel, and that's what makes them think that they
Yeah.
love them. But like I said, by my definition, love is an action. Love is about the genuine betterment of the other person. It's about doing things and saying things, because you want the other person to actually be genuinely happy and healthy and to improve and grow and be the best that they can be. And it's not about how they make you feel. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So basically, all the feelings and qualities that most K pop fans associate with love aren't actually love. They're attraction, admiration, regard, interest, affection, fascination, fixation, obsession, desire, sometimes lust or general horniness, etc. But they're not love. They're not love. Okay, like that's something that like K-pop fans don't get. It's like, yeah, you
Yeah.
probably, I believe that you admire them. I believe that you're attracted to them. I believe that you're interested in them and have affection for them, and maybe you're fixated on them or whatever. But it's like that is not love. That is what they don't get. That is not love.
Yeah. Exactly. Like one of the things that I actually had inside my other no point was that obsession can easily feel like love, but it's different.
Yeah.
Like someone said that in a podcast that I listened to a little while ago, and that just blew my mind.
Hmm.
Like she was talking about real life though, and not
Hmm.
like K-pop. Um,
I
but
mean,
that
K-pop's
like
real
blew my
life. It's
mind.
part of life, but yeah.
Yeah, K-pop is a part of life, but that can happen in real life too. I mean
Hmm.
outside of
Yeah.
K-pop too.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of like fixate on someone for some reason, and it can be something other than love too.
Hmm.
Um, though it's kind of I feel like it's more common in K-pop though.
Yeah. Well, that's because like you know quote unquote love is viewed synonymous, like obsession is viewed synonymously with quote unquote love. Like K-pop fans understanding of love is obsession. Like what they are experiencing is fixation in an extreme degree.
Yeah.
Like it's fixation on a mind if it's on a minor level, and obsession on like a a more extreme level. But like what they're experiencing is fixation, and like I said, like that can come with things like admiration and interest and whatever. Like you can have affectionate feelings towards your idol, but it's like it is fixation, it's not love. And like this whole thing of like I think about them all like that, like that's like a stereotypical kind of like portrayal of love, like in movies and shows and stuff like that. I think about them
Yeah.
all the time, they're always on my mind. What does that mean? And it's always
Yeah,
like the
that's just
big discovery that you're in love with them. It's like, no, it means you're fixated on them. It doesn't mean that you love them.
yeah, and that can be called a crush too, I think, because a
Hmm.
crush can be
Yeah.
one-sided.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Do you have anything else that you would like to add or anything that came to mind?
Well, I guess we can just kind of move on to my point because it's very similar or like basically the
Okay. Okay.
same
So
thing.
yeah. Okay. So you get to say your point, and
Um,
then we can talk about it. Yeah.
so my first no point is that there's a difference in feeling like you're in love and actually being in love. Because, yeah, people use the word love very loosely. And,
Mm-hmm.
like, even when they date people, they might not actually love them.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not do that on purpose. But I've heard many people say later, like after they broke up from that person, that they realized afterwards that I wasn't actually in love. Now I know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of loveless marriages, and they just tell everyone we're in love, or like what I mean, they say that we're married, and then we're supposed to assume that they're in love when when they're actually not. They fight all the time and stuff. And yeah, real love, when I'm talking about romantic love, it doesn't easily disappear, if ever, and it isn't easily replaceable. Like, K-pop fans seem to replace their biases kind of easily, even even if they say that they love their idol. They might like suddenly love someone else
Hmm.
more than them, which is okay. It's completely okay. Like, I'm not saying that you need to be romantically in love with your idol. Like, it would be good if you weren't actually. But yeah, just saying that there is a
Would be
difference.
nice. Would be
Yeah,
nice.
it would be nice if you weren't. But yeah, K-pop idols are kind of like fast food for fans. Like, they just seem to like consume everything that they do like so quickly, and their obsessions might pass. But you made a good point that even if they were obsessed consistently with one idol, that's still not love.
Yeah, no. That's just obsession.
Yeah.
You're not a better fan if you're like, oh, because I know that if there would be some fans who would like listen if they were listening to this conversation, they might think, well, that's not me. Like, I've only like hardcore stand this one idol for like years, and I'm totally dedicated and faithful to them, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, then that means you're obsessed. It doesn't mean that you're in love or like you're like actually like the one who's like, quote unquote truly loves them. It means you're obsessed with them.
Yeah, and you might that person might still feel like feel butterflies in their stomach and feel like they're in love, but you know, I mean, now I'm kind of getting into my second point, but
Nope, nope, stop there then, stop there.
I'll stop. So, like, there's a difference in feeling like you're in love and real love.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so then I think we're good to move on to my next no point then, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, my second point for no to the question of do K-pop fans actually love their idols? As I said before, fans confuse a lot of emotions and things that aren't love for love.
Mm,
But then they demonstrate that they don't actually love their idols because they don't act in truly loving ways towards their idols. And I have a
yeah.
lot of examples I'm gonna list, so just like you could feel free to like chime in and like make like kind of reactions or commentary. But I'm gonna be going through like a lot of examples just because I feel like there are a lot of behaviors that I feel like are so normalized in the K-pop community that fans like don't think are problematic or maybe even do truly see as being loving or don't see as demonstrations of being non-love, like not loving towards their idols. So,
Yeah.
for example, there are a lot of fans who claim to love and care about their idols, but then they don't think about things from their idols' perspectives. Like with regards to like
Mm,
fan sites and really obsessed fans, like there are a lot
yep.
as an international fan abroad, you literally don't see this, but if you come to Korea and you actually like go to K-pop events or go to like just anywhere where your idol is in public basically, you see this play out. Like there are literally fans hiding in bushes and trees and parking garages and parking lots. A lot of them. There
Oh
are
my
fans who are
god.
actually exhibiting stalker. No, and like the thing, there are fans. They get as close as they possibly can, basically. Like the fan, I'm talking about fan sites. Like people are like, who are these? Like, there's always this disconnect for like international fans. Like, who are these fans? They're fan sites. Like a lot of them are fan sites. They
Mm,
they get as close to the idols they possibly can. Like they push boundaries. They go places that they are not allowed to be in. And like they're filming, but because they're like fan sites with thousands of followers and they, upload nice pictures and videos, and everybody just looks at the pictures and videos and like thinks that like like basically I think because they're fan sites that, oh, they must be allowed to, like, they don't see the context of these pictures and videos are
Yeah.
taken, and so they think that they must be allowed, and it's like there are literally like I've literally seen videos of my idols getting jump scared in a parking garage where there are
Oh
not
my
supposed to be any
god.
fans. And there are
Oh
fan
my god.
sites who are filming them and they upload those videos, and then there's like 1,000 quote tweets being like, oh my god, so cute, he got scared. Yeah, he got scared because they weren't supposed to be there. You
Yeah,
know what I
that's
mean? Like,
not cute at all. What the
but
heck?
it's so normalized. It's so normalized, and like international fans who are like who are not in person. I mean, and I'm not just like blaming K fans. Like these aren't just K fans. Like there are international fan sites who like international fans who come to Korea and live in Korea for the K-pop stuff, and their fan
Yeah.
sites too. There are also fans who cross boundaries when, when idols go and tour in other countries. There are also fans who are like have their cameras in the idol's face, or who are also doing, getting as close as they can, or being in places that they're not supposed to
Yeah.
be, filming and taking pictures.
I
So I'm
hate
not just
that
saying it.
so much.
So, but
Those
it's like,
videos where it's like
I know,
right their
but
face is right there. Like get
you
off.
could like
Get
literally
off
for
them.
the angle, yeah, for the literally from the angle, it's like you could have only filmed that if you were standing literally right in front of them with because of like the angle.
Yeah.
You couldn't have filmed that from a distance. Yeah, so like I've literally gotten into arguments with international fans who are like, I think it's cute that the fans showed up to like support the idol and stuff like that. Like I think that they like it. I like because I'll say like, you know, the fans are filming in places that they shouldn't be filming and taking pictures where they
Mm.
shouldn't be. They're following the idol like when they are no longer doing the official schedule. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
airport stuff. It's like it's fine to greet your idol at the airport. It's not fine to follow them with your phone in their face all
Yeah.
throughout the airport.
And
Like
the
there are a
freaking
lot.
customs.
Yeah, no, literally, like they're like actually getting on the same flights with these idols and like filming them at the
Yeah.
next airport. Like that's so like a lot of fans view that like as being like so normalized, and there are even like a lot of fans, even international fans, who will like argue that that's fine. They're like, you just don't understand Korean culture, you don't understand K-pop culture, like it's, or Asian culture or whatever. Like it's a sign of, respect for fans to show up, and film them at the airport or greet them at the airport or wherever. Or I think that the idols probably were touched that their fans showed up, and I'm like, you think that they were touched that their fans showed up to a non-official schedule that wasn't
Yeah.
announced, and they
I
didn't expect their fans
know.
to show up? You think that they were happy that their fans showed up, and they were like, well, look at the pictures and the videos, the idols look so happy, and it's like, because they're idols, because they can't be like, what the hell, you guys, like you're not
Yeah.
supposed to be like, they have to be like, oh, cutesy aegyo heart, hot
Yeah.
hatu, love you, sarange, like thanks for coming, like they have to be like that, because like otherwise their reputation will be completely ruined, and like nobody want to be there. Anybody who cares about like the fan service and the parasocial stuff will like instantly unstand them, and not only unstand them, rebel against them and ask that they like, that they're removed from the group, or that they, will say that they shouldn't be idols anymore, or they shouldn't have a career anymore if they don't do that. So it's like everything is a lie. It's kind of like, even when fans cross lines or they don't respect boundaries, the
Mm.
idols have to just like be nice about it for their own sake. And then
Yeah.
everybody misunderstands, and that like the fans themselves, they don't think about it from the idol's perspective at all. They just think that the idols like that for some reason. So that was a very long first example, and there's a whole list more that I'm going to go through really quickly right now. But like
Yeah. But
this
can I
relates.
say something?
Yeah.
Like, and also like fan sites, um
I
people assume that the idols are like fine with the fan sites because they get to talk to them so much, because they go to all of
mhm,
their fan
mhm,
signs, and like
mhm,
they're like, but they know them. No,
mhm.
you just get to talk to them often.
Yeah. No, yeah. That is an assumption. A lot of fans think that like fan sites and idols are actually friends, and it's like, I wouldn't assume that they're friends. They just see them a lot, but it's like I'm sure there are some idols who don't like some of their fan sites, and like, but they have to like be nice because fan sites wield a lot of power. They have a lot of followers. They have a lot of
Yeah.
influence. And it's also kind of like, if you're an idol, you're stuck with them, because it's like the fan sites are going to show up to all of your events, whether you want them to or not, and they're going to like win all of the fan signs. You know what I mean? And like you're going to
Yeah.
have to talk to them, that because that's how it works, because whoever buys the most albums wins and gets to talk to you. That is how it is. So it's like you have to be, you know, polite and civil, and also like give them their money's worth or whatever. But like, yeah, there's that. I feel like that's something we'll probably talk about that more in another podcast. But yeah, there's a lot with like fan sites, but also just like really like obsessed fan culture in general too, where it's like fans aren't thinking about things from the idol's perspective at all. Both the fans who are engaging in these kind of invasive behaviors, and also the fans who are witnessing it and don't think that there's anything wrong with it. And they think, oh no, the idols look happy. I think it's fine, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, another example is, you know, and we touched upon this in the last podcast because this relates to like how we met, like fans not wanting people to call out idols or educate them, and which means that they don't want the idols to actually learn or be better, you know.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, fans also relating to the last podcast, also fans not being honest when they don't like certain songs that their faves release, or like they don't,
Mm.
or anything that their idols do, like anything that they don't like, they'll just say that they like it anyways. Like they don't give honest feedback or give honest reactions, and that doesn't help the idols grow as artists, or you know what I mean? That doesn't help them at all, really, if you don't like it, but then you just say you do anyways. You don't give them kind
Yeah.
of any like feedback that could actually help them. And
Mm.
also fans spamming idols with unhelpful or sometimes even inappropriate or problematic comments, like sometimes sexually explicit comments, or, you know, fans telling idols to desert the military when they've enlisted and stuff like that. Like it's kind of like the idols already feel crappy about having to like go on hiatus and serve in the military for 2 years, and then there are a
Sorry,
bunch of
what was that? Desert the military? What does that mean?
desert. It means, okay, so it means like to leave, like they enlist, and it means leave before you finished your service, which is illegal, and they can go to jail for years if they do that.
Okay. Are
There
they?
are there are
I haven't seen
there are
that.
fans. There are fans. I've seen it. Well, it's because, well, I guess you do stand some idols who've enlisted. I guess you,
Yeah, I
the
do.
fans in your fandoms like that who've enlisted in the military are like not as, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't want to.
they're.
Yeah. Anyways, there. I've there are fans. There are fans in some fandoms who will spam the idol literally with "desert the military," like comments
What?
like that, and it's like, okay,
Okay, I
they
guess
already,
you want me to go to jail then.
yeah, like it's like, and obviously it's like, oh, it's a quote unquote, it's a joke or whatever, but it's like, okay, but don't you think that they already feel crappy about having to serve as it is, and then you keep like telling them desert, 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 you know, like leave the military,
Yeah.
go to jail, like I don't care, like whatever, like do you think that is that supposed to make them feel better about the fact that they have to serve? Anyway, so it's like just like that just kind of goes hand in hand with like fans, and also just like fans, they just like they say a lot of things to idols that they shouldn't say. They say inappropriate things, they say things that are really problematic to idols all the time, like, you know, during fan signs there are always like some of those fans who are like, you know, never date, never get married, you know, stuff like that. Like it's they're not, they don't care about the idols. They're just, you know,
Yeah.
say what they want. And also fans picking fan wars with people in other fandoms or engaging in fandom infighting, which is like
Yeah.
they do that in the name of, you know, quote unquote protecting the idol or whatever and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like it hurts the idol because it's
It
counterproductive.
does.
Yeah. It's
And they are
counterproductive to their,
co-workers. Idols actually respect each other most of the time, I
yeah.
think. And they're like co-workers and friends. And seeing
Yeah.
their fans fight is not fun for them.
Yeah, no, it makes things awkward for the idols, but also like, you know, fans supposedly, especially like for like, you know, smaller artists, like quote unquote nugu artists or whatever. It's like there are a lot of fans who are like, you know, their supposed goal is that they want, you know, as many people to like listen to their artists and support their artists and like their artists. But then it's like if you're going around picking fights with people in other fandoms, or you're just being toxic in your own fandom, you're actually making people not want to listen to the artist, not want to support the artist, maybe even make people dislike the artist because they hate the
Yeah.
fans. So it's like you're
Yeah.
actually hurting your idol by doing stuff like that, but again, it's like they don't actually care about their idols. That's what I'm saying. It's like they don't actually love their idols. They don't actually care about their idols. That's why they engage in these behaviors, but they do it in the name of supposed, quote unquote love. Um,
Yeah.
Another example is, fans try to impose their beliefs on idols and on other fans, just like, they want to believe that the idols really like will love them no matter what they say or do, and they demand constant attention and reassurance and validation that the idols love their fans and only their fans. They don't want the idols to date. They try to control the idols like personal lives and like dictate what they can and can't do. Um,
Mm.
and also my last example. I mean, there's a million examples I can give. This is a short list, the quote unquote short
Yeah,
list of
yeah.
examples I could think of like behaviors that like demonstrate that fans don't actually love their idols. Is fan signs, not fan sites, fan signs going overkill. So like I don't know if you've witnessed it with your idols at all, but like I've witnessed fan signs for a certain artist that I stand, like going way over the top, where it's like fans are like fans made the idol like change into like 20 different costumes, and they're like, do this pose, do that.
Oh.
It's a fan sign is basically like 100 or whatever fans, 50 or 100, I don't know, show up, and like they just tell the idol what they want them to see them do for like 2 or 3 hours, and like they're like, do this
Yeah.
pose, put this on, do this, do that, whatever. And it's like the idol just like has to do it because that's what the fans paid for. But it's like
Oh my
people don't think
god.
about, and the thing is, fans believe that the idols like actually genuinely love it, and it's like, yes, I'm sure they have fun sometimes. I'm sure some things are genuinely funny or fun at these fan signs, but I don't know. Like I personally wouldn't like to like basically be like, someone's like
Yeah.
doll or puppet or whatever word you want to use for 3 hours,
Yeah.
and have someone
Like,
be like, do this, do that, put this on, do that face, do this pose, blah blah blah. Just like it's just demands. They're just shouting at what they want them to do the whole time, and the idols just have to do it. And like and then like if the idols company, like this happened, if the idols company says we're gonna put some limits on like how much how many requests basically the fans can like have the idols do, like, or how many costume changes, how many props, how many poses, how like if they try to impose limitations, the fans rebel and go crazy, and they start spamming and being like, look how happy the
oh.
idol is. The idol loves it as much as we do. Why would you take that away from us by imposing limitations? I don't know. Why don't we think for a moment why a company would impose limitations after there were past fan signs that went completely out of control?
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I never considered that aspect. Like how
Mm-hmm.
tiring the posing and just doing fan service part is. I always thought about like the talking part, like talking to the fans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But also just changing your freaking cute hat all the time when there's 100 of them, or like almost 100. It gets tiring, I assume, and like
Mm-hmm.
annoying, and yeah,
Well,
just
it's just like they
everyone
just keep.
shouting at you to do
Yeah, it's just like
stuff.
they're just shouting and telling the idol like, do this, do that, pose like this, pose like that. Like it's fine to do a little bit of that, but like I personally find the whole thing degrading. Like all of that, like
Mm.
I just think that it just is like when I watch it and like try to think about it from like the idol's perspective, or try to like put myself in the idol's shoes, I'd be like, I would hate this. I couldn't do this. Like this is feels
Yeah,
so
I would feel like a
degrading.
zoo animal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what like, yeah, I feel like a show monkey or something. That's basically how they're treated, and so it's just like that's just one of many examples. But it's just like fans don't think about things from the idols' perspectives, and like they don't. These are the just a few examples of the ways that like fans demonstrate that they don't actually care about their idols. They don't actually love their idols because they don't actually think about things from the idols' perspective. They don't think about what's best for the idols. They demonstrate that they don't, want the idols to be genuinely happy or whatever because they don't want them to date, and they, there's all these other things they don't want them to do, and all these other things they want to force them to do or whatever, and fans just impose their, they project their own desires onto idols and impose their own expectations and wants and desires onto the idols and think that the idols feel the same way that they do and want the same things that they do when that's not the case.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So, I don't really have much to add. We you you basically said everything that I had to say about that too. And like,
All right. So we can move
so
on to the last point then.
yes. Okay, so my last point for the question, do K-pop fans actually love their idols? Is no, because in my opinion, real love is mostly trust. Like when I was really thinking about like what is my definition of love, in fact, it's trust, and trust needs to be built between two people as a group effort. Like you can't trust someone if you don't first of all know them because
Mm-hmm.
that just automatically makes it one-sided, makes it parasocial. But the other person has to like earn your trust. They have to do things for you. It can't be one-sided. And this can even happen in relationships, even if you do know someone and like date them. Think about why most couples break up. There can be situations that make the other person not trust you. There can be situations that make the other person question, do I even know this person? Like, did I who did I just marry? If they like find out something horrible about them. And a K-pop fan might think that they're in love because they think that they can trust the idol. Because again, the idol's job is to like make the fan like trust you. You can like trust the uh, K-pop idol to make a comeback next year.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust them to still be together for a while, but you can't trust them to like do the things that they're supposed to do for you if you actually were in love.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not love.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that in order for it to be love, there has to be trust, and
Yeah,
it
and it
in
needs to
trust.
be built
Mm-hmm.
between two people. Both
Mm-hmm.
people need to be equal, they need to
Mm-hmm.
contribute, it needs to be built,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, you can just people talk about love at first sight, but that's just a
Mm-hmm.
crush. Like you don't
Mm-hmm.
love someone like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's attraction or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
at first sight.
Yeah. So it's kind of similar to my first point, but
Mm-hmm.
this kind of like just explains what I actually think love is.
Yeah,
And
like you're
yeah, it's
providing
not
your
one sided.
definition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True
providing
love
your
can't
definition.
be one sided.
Yeah, exactly. True love can't be one-sided, and like, I mean, obviously it can only exist if like the two people know each other and actually interact with one another and
Yeah.
actually like have a relationship, like whatever kind of relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but it could be an actual relationship where they interact with one another and they talk and they actually like presumably like care about each other and stuff like that. It's not something that can come out of a parasocial relationship or a
Mm,
regular like celebrity fan relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my point.
Your final point. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. I think like I said, we both have different definitions of love, which is good. I think because we're providing different perspectives. I like how like this started with my definition of love and ended with your definition of love. Like I think it's funny how it's like I revealed mine first and you revealed yours last. It's kind of nice how that worked out.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've both shared our two yes points and our two no points, now we're going to share what our overall kind of opinions or conclusions are with regards to the question of do K-pop fans actually love their idols? So, would you like to go
Yeah.
first, True?
Yeah. So my conclusion to that, my answer to that question is no. They don't actually love their idols romantically.
Mm-hmm.
But in like, again, because people do use the word love kind of loosely, talking about not true love or like romantic love. Yeah, so to an extent they can love an idol, but they can't be in love with an idol. No.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's similar for me too. Like I said, I think there are some fans who genuinely care about, and one could argue, like, do love their idols, like, do want the best for them, and do, want the idols to be the best that they can be, and do genuinely want them to be happy and healthy and stuff like that. But I think that most K-pop fans don't actually love their idols, even if they think they do, even if they think they care about them, because, like I said, they either they either don't want the best for them, or like through their actions, basically, like through the way that they kind of think about the idol, and kind of project their own kind of opinions and desires and wants and expectations onto the idol. Like, there
Mm,
are a lot of unloving actions that K-pop fans demonstrate towards their idols, even though they believe that they love them. Like, despite the fact that they believe that they care about their idols and love them, they show through many of their actions that they actually don't love their idols,
yeah.
don't genuinely care about them, don't genuinely empathize with them, or want the best for them, or want them to grow or improve or be happy and healthy. So I would also say no. I would say no. I don't believe that K-pop fans actually love their idols.
Yeah.
All right. So I think it's time for us to wrap up then for today.
Yes. Okay. So that's it for today's discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and set notifications if you would like to get alerts when there are new episodes of the K-pop Callout.
We want you to join the conversation with us, so let us know what your opinions or theories are in the comments. We upload new episodes every month on both YouTube and Spotify. Anyways, we'll see you again for the next episode. Bye!
Bye!